Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. And it is Monday. Yay, July 1st. Can you believe it? June's done. June's behind us. June's in the rearview mirror. And that went by fast, didn't it? It really, really did. Yeah. I know I say that every day, but holy smokes. It was like, it was June 5th and all of a sudden it was June 30th. And man. Okay. Let's see. A couple things going on today. Kind of exciting day for us here at Star Nations. Yeah. You know why? Because we're starting a brand new show tonight. And I'm so excited about the show and for our new show host. Actually, you guys know her already. For those that are in Star Nations community and pretty active, she's from Michigan, Grand Rapids, actually, and she's been a contributing writer for us for about a year now. And I invited her on to be a live stream show host with us because I think she has a lot to share. And that's Patricia Heredia. And the name of her show is The Therapy Center, and same title as her magazine column as well. So I'm excited. I really am. I'm going to produce her show tonight. And so, yay! It's a good day. It's a good day in the neighborhood, as they say. So before we get rolling too far down the road with the card information, I've got my phone here. And we've been asking everybody for over a year now to do a little something for us whenever we have a live stream, and that is being kind to your friends, right? Being kind to your friends, and that is to share with them. Right now, I have been working on changing that up, and changing the word, changing what we're calling it, right? And Stephanie Williams, who's our social media manager, this is what she came up with. She says, please seed the light of Star Nations to your friends and family so they can grow with you and grow with us, right? And so I guess we're using the word seed. So I'm gonna seed it over the live stream over to my news feed. I don't know how much I like that one either. We'll figure it out. We always do. We have such creative people here. We do. We'll figure a really good word and a good term to use. All right. So I'm going to be going over to my newsfeed on my phone and just reminding my friends that I'm live streaming right now and asking them to join us. Asking them to come out to play. In the live chat. There we go. And put a little emojicon on there too. I think I'm going to use a heart and a couple stars in that one. Okay, good. Excellent. Now, I do know that that Stephanie is not going to be in the house because her little boy needed her. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to send the live stream over to the groups. Okay. So just give me another second and we'll send it over to the closed groups. Go to the network. And we're just going to remind the peeps that I'm live streaming. And seeing if they would like to come out and play too. And there we go. There we are. Turn down my sound on my phone. Don't want to be all squelchy on it. Here we go. Okay. I am going to double check here. Julie's here. Hey, Julie. Hello, Julie. Good to have you here. Julie says, I've let the light of the Star Nation shine on my newsfeed. Woohoo! Good one. Good one. I like that one too. One of the things that I share with you guys just about every day is just to let those people who might not know about Star Nations is that I'm live streaming from Star Nations Academy right here. And we use this particular building for a lot of things. We do, not just the live stream shows that I produce, that are my shows, and I produce. Did you know that we have 14 shows now? 14 shows in Star Nation's live stream show family. 14. Patty's is the 14th, and I produce 3 of them, plus my own. And so whenever I produce, about 99% of the time I'm producing from here. I do produce on occasion from my home, which is just about a country block from here, east. And then I use my meditation room, the medicine room, to live stream from. But so that's where we're broadcasting from most of the time. And it's hot. It's hot here and humid. I don't know. We're supposed to get up to 87 today. It's hot and humid. Did I say that? I think so. All right. So this is the card deck that we're currently using, and it's called The Spirit of the Wheel. Right? Oh, get the glare off from there. And the author is Linda Iwashina. And the illustrator is Jody Bergsma. Right? And both ladies come from British Columbia. And so we're learning some of the Native American medicine wheel from their perspective. I've been sharing that there's only one Native American medicine wheel. But there's 568 federally recognized tribal nations here in the United States. In Canada, there's just as many, if not more. And so on Turtle Island, we have over 10,000 federally recognized nations. And there's many, many more that are not recognized by another government, but their own. And so and each one has a way of interpreting or using the medicine wheel. And so, it's not about who's right and who's wrong or whose is better or anything like that. It's about how much you're connected to all of creation, right? This is the back of the cards. Isn't that pretty? Shows the 4 directions and the animals that they use in each one of the directions. Yeah, very pretty. And so in the east, they have the eagle. In the south, that's a wolf. In the west, they have the bear. And in the north, that is a buffalo, the white buffalo. And I like that they're using white animals in this deck. Right? White animals. Did you know that there's more and more white animals that are that are showing themselves, and people are able to take either video or pictures of them, right? I mean, we've been sharing some of them that we've run across on in different pages here at Star Nations. Most of them, I think, they're shared over at Nature Adventures, and it's very interesting. There's a whole prophecy around that. Yeah. The white animals coming to show themselves as we get closer and closer to the fifth world. Yeah. All right. Hey, Rochelle is here. Hello, Rochelle. Good to have you here. Had a hard time grounding and much pain. Aw. But you did get grounded, right? It sounds like it anyway. That's too bad. Your therapy must be getting it kicked up a notch. And she's also saying start outpatient physical therapy tomorrow. Oh, okay. We'll go 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah. Well, the grounding definitely will help you. That's for sure. Did you know, Rochelle, that years and years ago, back in the 80s, I want to say it's 1986, when I was in college, and as a intern for one of my professors in the psych department. She was working on a project. Well, you know what they say about professors is that you have to publish or perish, right? And so she was working on a project that she was hoping that would get published, and it was about chronic pain. And she is the one who trained me how to do guided meditations. Yeah, yeah. So I've been leading guided meditations since 1986. It's a long time. But I can tell you one thing, is that guided meditations will help you a great deal with your pain. Even if it's not your pain that you're working on, your physical pain, doing a guided meditation will help ease the pain. It might not take it away, but it'll ease the pain. And why is that, right? Why is that? Is because we're able to raise our frequency of our vibration. And so the pain, the physical pain subsides. It might not go away completely, but it subsides. So if you know, we have so many guided meditations here at Star Nations on the YouTubes. I'm sure if you, we'll put the link in the comments. And if you want to go to our YouTube, our YouTube channel, there's a whole bunch of them out there. Any one of them will help you. Any one of them. And of course, you know, if you wanted to, you could also just go out to YouTube and search for guided meditations. And there's going to be a lot of them coming up in the search. So that's just a little hint, you know. Man, I know that was a long time ago, but yeah, I worked with the experimental group, and most of them were elderly, and I got really good at it. Got really good at guided meditations. That's just a little hint before we get to the card information, right? And you know, I think that's how I realized that doing guided meditations and using my voice that way was one of my gifts. Yeah, it was one of my gifts, and so that's what I did. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rochelle's here too. Rochelle Ashley, hello, lady. She says cool 73 degrees. It's in Colorado, Colorado Rockies. Some thunderstorms rolling through. Yeah, lucky you, 73. That sounds like Wisconsin weather, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. And you guys get to have that, those really dramatic climate changes as the warm weather comes over the Rockies, right? Yeah, that's where all those baby tornadoes get born in Nebraska and Kansas and Oklahoma. Weather change. Rochelle says, I need someone to guide me. My brain goes all over the place. Like YouTube. Yep. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we did guided meditations, is because when we're in pain, you know, it's hard to focus if we were doing it ourselves, right? It's hard to focus. And so, yeah, we'll put the link in there. Let's see. I think I might have it here. Hang on. Hold the phone, Joan. Because I was working on a magazine. And so I've got a lot of documents up. I just have to scroll a little bit to get to that section. And get to the YouTube channel. And I know it's here. Hang on. Nope. That's not it. Rats. Here it is. And I'll get that into the comment section for you. There we go. And so when you get to the YouTube channel, Rochelle, there's playlists, and it lists each one of the live stream shows. And so you can do any one of them, okay? The ones who have the most guided meditations are anything with Polly Joe, okay? course, there's mind, the unity breath meditation. And I'm trying to think of who else did a guided meditation. Oh, Orchard and Franklin. Yeah, those are probably the three shows that have the most guided meditations. So you can just click on any one of those, whichever one you choose. Okay. All right. Let me know how that goes for you too, Rochelle. Okay. Just drop me a message. Okay, the cards that we got today are all cards that we've had before, and there's a few of them. So here's the first one. Corn planting moon. Corn planting moon. The corn planting moon goes from May 21st to June 20th. So we basically are out of the corn planting moon in the physical world. That is an elk. And the words associated with the corn planting moon are balancing energy, honesty, and emotions. It's the 21st stone in creating the medicine wheel that the author uses. Okay. And the elk itself, as a power animal or as a totem, is about stamina, and it's also about pacing your energy so that you have a balance of how your energy is being used, right? So it's not that you use all your energy, and then you burn yourself out and then you're asleep for hours, right? Elk energy, elk medicine can help you to learn how to pace how you use your energy. Yeah. Just think about their long legs, and elk can run a pretty long distance without fatiguing themselves. Mm-hmm. And then we have to look at the antlers too, right? This is a bull elk, male. And in many ways, we talk about the antlers being like antennae, right? And so the antlers can pick up information in the unseen, so that your spiritual body, your emotional body, all of your bodies really, will be able to use that information as it comes in. Yeah. So corn planting moon. Very first card for the today. And it signals a time of great energy and enthusiasm. It says that the fears that held you back in the past dissolve in the light of this auspicious moon. That you can achieve great things by channeling the surge of creative energy and balancing it with clear direction. So there's that balance. There's that pacing of your energy. Right? So you're literally balancing out your creative energy, which is found in your heart, right? It's a part of your right brain. Right? Yeah. And it balances out with your mental thoughts. And so when we have the balance between the head and the heart, we're coming from our high heart, correct? And here's the thing about this particular card. When I was rereading the information this morning about this card, one of the things that jumped out at me was not just the balancing of energy, but also the emotions. It says that the expression of powerful emotions, sometimes what that can do when we're expressing our very strong emotions, sometimes we overwhelm the other person or other people. And that might not be our intention. We're just trying to express ourselves, right? And depending on what you're expressing, the other person may be really overwhelmed, literally swamped with your expression of your emotion. Have you ever done that? I know I have. In my early 20s, holy cow. I'm a triple fire. And so the expression of that kind of fire energy, like with anger or frustration or something like that, I mean, man, talk about incinerating people. But that wasn't my intention. It was really about the expression of it. And so I had to learn how to live with and balance a lot of fire, so that in my communication with other people, I wasn't being unkind. Right? I was still able to get my feelings or my thoughts across, but I had to learn how to do that. It's called mastery, it takes some energy to do that. But this particular card with the emotions, right? With the emotions and the expression of them, it says that this moon teaches you that being honest with yourself and others in a gentle way fosters positive growth for everyone involved. So allow yourself the freedom to explore many different paths that will help you to learn or to remember how to express your really strong emotions, so that in your communication with others, that you're able to really convey your true meaning, your true self, your honesty, right? Yeah. Sometimes when our emotions are really, what's a good word? Strong, right? No matter if it's anger or sadness or joy, you're really super happy. Sometimes it can be really overwhelming to another person. Now, that doesn't mean that you're responsible for the other person and how they're receiving it, but you are responsible in how you convey that strong emotion. Yeah, it can take some finesse and some time to learn about yourself. That's what it took me. I had to learn about me, and what was that. How can I do that differently? Because that wasn't I didn't intend to incinerate that other person. I didn't intend to become the center of attention, right? That was not my intention. And so I had to learn about that. I had to learn about me so that I could communicate better. Hi, Kalia. I hope I pronounced that right. Kalia. Hi, lady. I get fight with my boyfriend. Can you see if they'll get back together again, please? Okay. This is an individual card drawing. Sorry, Kalia. It's not. This is actually a group cards plural. Um, and so the information that we're sharing, if it resonates with you, any part of it, it's meant for you. Okay. So we're not doing individual cards. Apologies about that. If you'd like to have an individual card reading, like a mini reading, come and join us on Wednesday night at Chakra Sessions fan page. Polly Jola Bay, she is one of our live stream show hosts, and she does card drawings the second half of her show on Wednesday nights. Her show is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so come and join us for that. And you can get an individual card reading, okay? All right. Sure, Kalia, just, if you have the time and you're inclined, just hang out with us and see what the information and what resonates with you and what you can use with that. The intention for the card draw every morning is for my spiritual team is to please show me what's important the energy flowing today, what's important for us to know about, for our highest good, for our soul growth, and for the highest good of all, right? And so the cards that are drawn are really meant for everybody, and so that we can take what is helpful to us or what feels good to us, and we can leave all the rest, right? All right. So this first one, the corn planting moon. What what kind of jumped out at me as important this time around, because we've had this card before, is balancing energy and emotions. Is that when we're expressing our emotions, especially those really strong ones, and rather than overwhelming another person, is to be able to, get grounded, to ground and to be able to understand why your emotions are so strong in that moment, right? And I know sometimes it's hard to do when you're right in the middle of an argument, or you're right in the middle of a really sad kind of time. It's kind of hard to kind of sit back and say, wait a minute, what is this emotion really about? But it's a good move, is just to be able to pause and take a deep breath, and to be able to connect with Grandmother Earth and ask for her help in grounding, right? So that you can understand what is really going on here. What's really going on? And many times, especially if you're an empath, you have to ask, is this emotion, is this feeling mine? Is this mine? Or does it belong to someone else? Because so many times when we're empaths, the information that we pick up from the energy around us, many times those really strong emotions actually belong to someone else. And so if you were really happy one moment and the next you're feeling really sad, or you're feeling angry, and you're like, I don't have anything to be angry about. Why am I so angry? Many times it's because you're picking up on someone else's emotions. And when you try to express that emotion, it comes out pretty confusing for the other person that you're communicating with, right? Yeah, they can get really confused because they're going, what did I do? And so with this particular card, I think this time around, whoops, wrong one. The corn planting moon card is one that can help us to understand ourselves better, to be able to communicate better with it, right? Corn planting moon. And when we do that, we can actually be a lot more honest with ourselves and with others. Well, like I was saying, back in my early 20s, it certainly was, I had to figure all that out, because I, didn't even know I was an empath at the time. And so here I carry all of this fire anyway. I'm a triple Sagittarian. And so I have all this fire to begin with, and learning how to live with that in a good way as a gift, and not a challenge, right? Can you see George? George is going to be a year old pretty soon. Yeah, in a few days. He's getting big, isn't he? He's tall. Yeah, he's about 72 pounds. And so the second card, to help us understand that first one, is the long snow's moon. The long snow's moon. And it's all about contemplation, messages, and deliberation. Swans. Yeah. And again, I believe that a lot of this is about emotions. The swans are a water bird, right? And in the picture, they're actually flying toward water. And did you also know that swans mate for life? They do. They mate for life. Yeah, Rochelle says that sounds like me, roller coaster like. Yeah, yeah. And I can tell you one thing for sure that I know, Rochelle, is that when we're grounded, when you go through your grounding, even though you might have to do it a few times, during the day, that roller coaster of emotions won't be as abrupt, and that it will kind of level out a little bit. You won't be having those really high highs and low lows. It'll kind of balance out just a bit. There's other things that you can do too, but the grounding really is very, very helpful to ground into center. Okay, so the long snows moon goes from November 22nd to December 21st. It's a Sagittarian. And this card message brings a time of quiet contemplation. It's time to open up your mind and see beyond the ordinary, to journey into other worlds and connect with the divine, where a message of importance awaits you. This message will help you along your path to the mystery void. Revel in the feeling of the inner peace that comes from entering into the silence. All right, so here we go. In order to know ourselves better and to actually hear messages from your spiritual team, from the Creator, is that we have to have some quiet time, right? Yeah, because, chances are that we've asked for help, right? We've prayed for help. We've talked to our spiritual team and asked them to please show us with clarity or to bring us resources or something like that. And so that we, that's our part of the conversation, right? Is that we have expressed a need for assistance. The other half of that conversation is listening. So to be able to have a quiet moment and to listen to the reply from your spiritual team, from the Creator. And whenever we go into a meditation, into the silence, right, into the silence, we also learn about ourselves in that. Yeah. And I'm not talking about taking 30 minutes to do a meditation, where you're in lotus position and you got the correct mudra and that kind of thing. I mean, those are good too. But many times, all we need is a walk in the woods. And my inner child, that subconscious part of us, has time to listen in the silence. Right? Yeah. So the long snow moon is about contemplation and listening to the messages, listening to the voice of spirit. Right? Being in that peacefulness, that quietness. It quiets the mind, it quiets those emotions, those overwhelming emotions. It helps us. Rochelle says, good. It takes a lot of energy to feel, especially others' emotions. Yes, it does. It does. Especially when it's other people's emotions, other people's energy that you're, as an empath, when our antenna picks it up, and especially if you don't know that you're an empath or you're just beginning to learn about that gift, a lot of times what we do is we hold on to that information, that emotion, because we think it's ours and it's someone else's. And so we literally have to learn how to let it go and allow it to come in so you can read it, understand it, and allow it to pass through you and to let it go. Right? Because being an empath is a gift. I know when we first start out, we think, oh no, not that. Because we're feeling everybody's everything, right? Yeah. Hey, Cindy's here too. Hi, Cindy. She says, yeah, it can be hard to get rid of other energy, especially when I'm in a close relationship. I know. Isn't that a fact? Such a fact, Cindy Lynn. Thank you for sharing that. Um, when we're in relationship with another person, and because we're two-leggeds, we're humans, we're meant to have those relationships, that closeness with another, right? We're designed that way. We were created to be that way. So as an empath, how 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 are you in a relationship when it's that word, it's a psychological word, right? Called enmeshment. When your energy and theirs are so close that they almost look like one, right? And so how do you separate that out and what's yours and what's theirs? And not feel like you're stepping away from them or moving away from them or removing yourself from them, right? Yeah. Setting up boundaries as an empath um, can be a challenge, but it's really, really important. Boundaries are important to begin with, across the board. But for as empaths, it's even more important. It's even more important. Yeah, because as empaths, we tend to bring people in closer than most others would. And sometimes it is unconscious, it's subconsciously done, right? And then we go home or we're wondering hours later, why do we feel so drained? We feel like we just ran a emotional marathon, right? Yeah. So it really is about those boundaries and setting up those boundaries out of love rather than fear. Because if you set up a boundary out of fear, it takes even more of your energy to keep it in place because you have to be vigilant all the time, right? When you set it up out of love, when you set up out of love, you can allow it just to function all on its own, exactly what it's supposed to be doing, right? So how do you do that? How do you do that? I'm going to say it again. Get grounded first. Be grounded. Be centered. Get quiet and ask your team to help you to see more clearly, to feel more clearly about what is yours and what is someone else's. Start with that really, whatever that emotion is that's really strong, start with that one. Okay. And ask, is this anger mine? Is this sadness mine? Is it someone else's? And if the feeling comes back that it's someone else's, you don't even really necessarily have to know them. But if it is someone that is really close to you, right? If they're really close to you, is literally is to say a prayer for them and ask that whatever your belief system is, whether it's angels or guides or whatever your belief is to have the most appropriate angels go to them to help them. Pray for them. Say a prayer for them to help guide them, to take care of them, right? And then you begin by, you can envision it, right? Let's say it is sadness, okay? You can literally see it coming apart, moving away from you, coming apart, right? Is that you're literally energetically moving their feelings in their direction and then keeping yours in your boundary. You can ask your team to help you to do that, right? Please move the sadness that is so and so's out of my field. Please help me to place a boundary of love around myself that will help me to filter out what energies are not mine. Yeah. Yeah. And you can do that with any emotion. The thing is that as empaths, we're meant to feel that emotion to be able to help the other person and then let it go. It's not mine. It's not mine. And so by saying the prayer for them, that you are helping them. You don't necessarily have to be physically there with them either to do that. Right? Because if they're your significant other, of course you love them. Of course you want to help them. But you don't have to take it on for them. It's not yours to take on to heal or to change. Right? I know. Sometimes it's easier said than done. So that is a part, the long snow moon. The author says that when approached with a loving mind, things that you thought of as burdens can become blessings. When approached with a loving mind, things that you thought of as burdens can become blessings. It also says that the messages that you receive from Spirit now feel like long lost pieces of a puzzle coming together. The gift of the long snows moon is a slower pace that allows you to weed out the trivial details and recognize what is truly important. Okay? So you can call on that energy when you are working on the balancing of energy and your emotions, right? Because that was the first card. That was the first card, remember? Balancing energies, honesty, and emotions. And then the second card arrives, the long snow moon. It's about contemplation, messages, and deliberation. So you can ask your team to help you to do that. So that when you get to the understanding this card, the balancing of energy, honesty, and emotions, so that you have a way to be able to honestly express your emotions and know which ones are yours, right? Which ones are yours to express. Yeah. Does that make sense? Because it felt like it was spot on for somebody. Okay, I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, Kalia is saying, I feel something others' emotions, and that could be. It could be. And Cindy Lynn is saying, doing that right now. Yeah, and see how that feels to you, Cindy Lynn, right? Rochelle said, I wish I had known this before I became a social worker. Oh, I know. I was a child support worker for a lot of years. And yeah, definitely changes you. Kalia says, I feel something before it happened, bad especially. Oh, okay. Hey, Rubina, it's good to have you here. You're welcome. Okay. Cindy Lynn says, oh yeah, makes perfect sense to me. Oh, good. Really good. Hi, Marie. She says, boy, I came in at the right time. Divine timing, right, Marie? Divine timing. Rochelle Ashley, most burdens are lessons and manifestations of patterns that you need to step back and look at. That's right. You know, the other day we were talking about how we perceive life lessons, right? And that we're in the energy field that we can actually shift our consciousness around that, rather than perceiving our life lessons as burdens or challenges that are painful. That we can shift our thoughts around that, because really our life lessons, we already knew we were going to be going through these. They were blessed for us to even be here, right? And that our life lessons are really gifts. Yeah. That if we can see them that way, that our perception, if we can shift our perception around them, that you don't have to have emotional pain that takes you to your knees. That doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to. What we do have to do is shift our belief around it, shift our consciousness around it. Yeah. But I agree totally, Rochelle. I totally agree. It's about the patterns that you need to step back and look at. Yeah. Rubina, thank you. Oops, clicked off on that. Cindy says, sometimes you think you've moved on or healed old wounds or traumas, and then something or someone happens, and the universe is like, nope, need more healing done on that area. Yeah, that's true. And here's my thought on that, Cindy Lynn, is that when we're healing an emotional or mental trauma, right? When we're healing that healing, in order for it to be complete, and we move through the life lesson, right, is that we have to heal in all of our bodies, which means that we're healing our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual bodies. And so, and those healings, when they come to the surface, is because we're ready for them. Because we have to integrate in between each one of those healings besides. And then we're ready for the next phase or the next step or the next piece. And we're never given the opportunity to do that until we're ready for it. So when it comes up to the surface, and instead of saying, oh no, I'm not dealing with you again, and you suppress it or you push it away, it's going to come back again and again and again until you say, okay, all right, I'm going to deal with you. What do I have to do? And once you move through that piece in that particular body, let's say it is the emotional body that you're dealing with, right? That you say, okay, we're going to do this. What do I have to do? And so now you have to heal the emotional body around that. Once you do that, and you learn the life lesson that's attached to that and move through it, integrate it, that wisdom that you gain from it is the gift. That's the gift. And so we all have to do that. We all have to heal each one of those bodies, do the integration, gain that wisdom, and then move on to the next piece of it. So when it feels like, oh my God, I thought I dealt with you already. I thought I got rid of you, and here you are again. That's because you're ready for the next piece. Right? Yeah. Makes sense. Didn't think of it that way. Moving through the different bodies. Yeah. And take a look at it, because a lot of times, we have a situation that we've been working on. When it hits the physical body, that's when when it finally gets our attention, because it's in the physical body. We could be going through physical pain, right? Physical uncomfortableness. Yeah. Okay. Those two. Told you we got a few. I'm watching the time. And here's the third card that came. The third card is the Butterfly Clan. It's about mental clarity and awakening and beauty. Okay? Mental clarity, awakening, and beauty. that this card represents an awakening or breaking free of some restriction within your life. You have recently gone through a difficult period, but now you emerge from the cocoon, leaving the darkness behind you. On a soul level, you have chosen to follow beauty, just as the butterfly is drawn to a flower. Beauty will be found in many places, and you never imagined as the gentle patterns of life unfold before you. This awakening is a butterfly's gift to you. So when we've done our work, we've done our healing, we've understood balancing our energies, we've come to learn more about ourselves and how we express our emotions, right? We've learned about figuring out, is that mine or someone else's if you're an empath? And we're healing those traumas around whatever that is. When we've done all of that work and we've done the integration piece, right? We're beginning that integration, and we can start seeing clearly with that hindsight of 2020, right? It's like, do you ever have one of those moments? It's like, oh, that's why that happened. I didn't understand it when that happened, but now I do. It's that hindsight of 2020 and why something had to occur in the way that it did, right? And, here at Star Nations, we talk a lot about an awakened being, right? Consciously living your life from an awakened state. And once you're awake, you can never really go back to sleep because you can never unsee something, right? Right. Yeah. So getting to know yourself in a deeper way will bring mental clarity. And perhaps it's when you acknowledge that you are an empath and you acknowledge that this is a gift, it's not a curse. Right? That you can see the beauty in so many things around you that you used to hold at more than arm's length. You don't have to hide in your house. You don't have to go live up on a mountain or deep in the forest. So you don't have any contact with other two-leggeds, other humans. That you learn how to master that gift that you came in with called being an empath. Right? To be an awakened being. Yeah. Rochelle said, getting playback as well as the live transmission. Okay, fix now. What? What was that about? I don't know. Getting playback as well as the live transmission. Really? Huh. That's interesting. I don't know what that was about, Rochelle. Julie says, clarity is a word that keeps coming to me, working on the meaning for name. Yeah. When you can, okay, here's a piece, Julie. Is clarity can have many meanings depending on what aspect we're referring to, right? So if we're referring to how we bring in energy information, right? The unseen. Especially in the meaning of these cards today. Is that if you're an empath and you're bringing in information, emotional information through your vibrational field, and as an empath, it's a gift. And so you have to have clarity around, why am I experiencing this? What am I supposed to do with this emotional information? Right? Because you have to discern if it's not yours, or if it is yours, you still have to understand, why am I experiencing this? Is this a life lesson? If so, what's this about? So who are you talking to? Who are you getting the answers from? Your spiritual team, from your higher self, from the creator, because they're all on your team, right? So getting clear, being clear about the message, being clear about the message. Talking about our clairs, right? Our clairaudient, our clairsentient, our clairvoyant. It's about clear seeing, clear hearing, clear feeling, clear knowing, clear, right? So getting clear, I like that. Thanks for sharing that, Julie. Is that, especially if we're dealing with being an empath, is asking some questions up front so that you can better understand with clarity, what are you dealing with? Am I dealing with my own emotions? That's one way that you have one path to travel and to understand what's going on, right? If you're feeling someone else's emotions, right, that's another path. That's a different path. Yeah. Why you? Why am I feeling this? Why what am I supposed to do with this? Just to get clear. Yeah. And it's great to ask questions. Rochelle says, I thoroughly enjoy the spiritual talk, learning a lot from you and your spirit guides. Love it. Oh, thank you, Rochelle. I know I'm learning a lot today too. Rochelle says, maybe my team wanted me to hear the message about empaths over again. That could be. That could be because the studio was fine. So I didn't even get any kind of, because sometimes I can see a little glitchy video feed. You know, it's kind of, it looks different. It was okay here. So maybe that's it. Because I know you're an empath, Rochelle. We've had this discussion a few times, right? Over the years. Yeah. She says, maybe my team wanted me to hear the message and pass over it. That's the way it gets through to me. It probably is. Cindy Lynn said, it's hard to put into words a lot of times the intense feelings that come from being an empath. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with the cards today, Cindy Lynn, is that, we have, let's put them together here. Let's see. I want to make sure I have them in the right order here. All right. So we had the corn planting moon, and that was about balancing energy, honesty, and emotions. And really, it was about overwhelming emotions, learning how to identify those, right? And what to do with them. And then we got the long snow moon. It was about contemplation, messages, and deliberation. That's about finding out what's yours and what isn't, right? And to be able to communicate better when you know the difference. So you're not overwhelming the other person. And the other one is about mental clarity. It's the butterfly clan, awakening in reality, beauty, right? And then when you put them all together, right? When you take it in, just take a deep breath in and then ask your spiritual team as you're exhaling to help you to bring in the information that's most important for you and every part of your being, all of your senses, to take it in as fully as possible. Right? That if we're empaths and we're meant to master that gift that we came in with, right? You know what that also means is that we have a whole lot of wisdom that we've already gained from other lifetimes that we can pull forward into this one. Yeah. That we can learn more about our own emotions and how to separate what's ours and what's someone else's. And sometimes, Cindy Lynn, that is huge. That when you can identify what's mine, what's my emotions, and what someone else's is, right? As an empath, that's a huge step because it doesn't have to be so overwhelming and intense to use this gift. Yeah. I just want to share one last card with you guys. I know we're at the top of the hour. This is the last card that came. It's the Creator. It's about awareness, co-creation, and change. And so this was the last card that popped out of the deck. And I do believe that whatever resonated with you in the other three cards, and you take it to heart, right? Take it to heart. In other words, as it resonates with you, watch, see how the energy unfolds for you today and where this information could be helpful, right? That we have an opportunity to be able to gain that awareness, realize that we are co-creators, and that with the mastery of our gift as an empath, learning how to set boundaries out of love, with love, that we have change. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're at the top of the hour. Whatever resonated with you, right? Like I said, embrace it. That's my suggestion. And then watch, see how the energy unfolds for you today and where this information can be helpful. If it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, you're not going to hurt my feelings at all. And there's always tomorrow's cards. You never know. Maybe that's meant for you tomorrow. Maybe you're the messenger. Maybe you know somebody who has been looking for this information, enjoys this kind of conversation, and you can just share the link with them, and then your job is done, right? All right. So hopefully you'll be able to join us tonight for our brand new show here at Star Nations. It's called The Therapy Center with our brand new live stream show host, Patricia Heredia. That's on 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's at her fan page, The Therapy Center. She is going to be recapping the information that she shared with us through her Star Nations magazine articles called The Liver Cleanse. Let me tell you, it's a good one. I went through it. I'm still going through it. But she's going to recap. I get to produce her show tonight, so you might see me too. But come and join us, all right? And support Patty in her very first show. With that, enjoy the rest of your Monday. And Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.